Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chains Devstream. Sorry we are a little bit late. I'm just in the process of getting my new laptop all set up, and I did not have things as ready as I thought I did. But anyway, we are good to go now. What's up, Inc? What's up, Gray Madison, Matthew, Deningrad? I've got Zychronics here with me today, and we are going to be, as the title says, working on getting new items and equipment and stuff like that working. Psychronics has been messing around with that a little bit lately in Dramod,
It's
as far as
halfway
equipment
there.
goes. What was that?
It's halfway there.
Halfway there. Yeah, we've got pretty good support already for adding new things and using them in the menu. And the equipment works okay as well. However, using items in battle is a bit of an issue still. So we're gonna start looking into that and seeing what we can do to remedy that situation. Sup, Eric? Cattle Bulg, Pony Bro, Glitter in the Graveyard. So as you can see here, I have added a few uh, consumable items, as well as a brand new piece of equipment, specially for Kongal, his bridal gown for the upcoming Kongal dating sim. And we're gonna try and make these things actually do something. So how far have you gotten there, Zychronics and Dramod?
So equips basically have no issues.
Okay.
Maybe equip ID 192 might have an issue, I'm assuming. I haven't tried it yet, but
Well,
I think anything
equips
other than
equips that get added wouldn't actually have IDs, so that shouldn't be a problem.
but isn't there a bunch of code that says if the ID is less than 192? Some things are still ID based.
Some things are, and that's part of what we need to work on. Um, Ink says my mic's attenuation is broken. Almost sounds like a robot. Um, I haven't added I haven't added noise gate or anything. Probably do that now. Probably noise suppression too. Um,
And hopefully I am louder now, I guess. I can boost my mic up more if needed.
yeah, you might as well. I think my settings are all fine here. I'm going to turn the game audio down a bit since I don't have Zychronic separated from the rest of my desktop yet. But I'll set that up another day.
Hopefully this is not too loud.
You might still be a little quiet. Say a couple words here.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you're still quite a bit more quiet than I am. You can probably do like a 15-20% boost. Uh, Background music. Well, how's the level of the background music? Got it turned down to 50%, so hopefully it shouldn't be too loud. I think we should be fine now.
I
Yeah,
hope
just
so.
just let us know if anything needs to be adjusted further, and we'll deal with that when it comes up. Still staticky. Um, Anybody else having staticky issues with me? Hope it's not using my laptop mic. I don't think it is. Let me just check that real quick. Yeah, no, it's using my condenser mic, so we should be good. What's up, Drin? All right, so we are going to start working on making this stuff actually work. Except it sounds like a bad network, but Zychronic's fine. That is very strange. But it's not. It makes literally no sense that two people would hear that for just me, but not Zychronix, and other people aren't.
How odd.
Yeah, very odd. Okay, so first off, right off the bat, we do not want this item or equipment table to exist anymore. Looks like some things are still using the items table. We can remove the equipment table very easily though.
Please don't move the spell table.
Um,
Leave it.
that's part of what we're going to be doing actually. We need to convert that
No.
to a registry.
Uh, when I was doing the new Dramon update, I was like, oh, spells are in your registry. This is so easy.
Well, they're unfortunately going to have to. That because we need to get rid of it. How large is that table? Is that 192? That is part of what we're gonna have to do to get the battle HUD working for the new stuff. Because right now um, it references either the item table or the spell table. But we need to make it not use those tables at all. We need to make it use the registry. Sounds like a bit of thin foam on my microphone. I mean, I do have a bit of thin foam on my microphone, but that is not anything out of the ordinary. Um, I mean, it might be clipping. It is fairly loud. I'll turn down the volume a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't done anything weird here, so I don't know. Let me see if there's any weird Windows junk going on. Um, search microphone. now. Are you doing anything dumb, Windows? How's this? Is this any different? I just turned off audio enhancements. I don't know if it was trying to do any audio enhancements in the first place, but turned it off anyway, so. Let's see here. Okay, cool. It was just Windows being dumb.
Oh, now I can't hear you.
Oh, and now Discord is being dumb because I changed my audio settings. Please hold. We'll get this all sorted out at some point. Testing, Zychronics, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, it's picking up now.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright. We're in business. So we need LOD mod, the item ID map to get the registry ID. This will also have to go away, but it is what we have to use for now. Oh, this is still trying to use the item stats class. This is old. Can we... How difficult would this be to fix right now? How does this compare to the item class?
I think they were almost the same when I was looking at it. Or not.
File-based item is... That is not ideal, however. So for now, this is going to have to be a file-based item. That's bad, though, because that's tying it to our specific implementation. But we will start with this. Now that's going to cause a whole lot of problems. I wonder if this is being used in scripts, because that needs the numerical value. Icarus, are you around in the chat? I'm gonna ping Icarus and see if he is here. Yeah, so the whole idea of using these item classes is that most of the interactions with the items will be handled in the class itself, which kind of allows the items themselves to control a lot of what they do. What's up, Schwabe? Alright. Alright, Zychronics. Here's something that we are gonna have to figure out. How are we going to handle item types for this? So right here, I think this is where we would deal with the potions and things like that.
Could we not just get them XYZ that already exist and then have additional ones after?
Well, we want to delegate this code into the item class itself, so that the item can just choose exactly how it wants to handle this. I think this might be as easy as having a is consumable flag on the item, and that would be this condition here. Or I guess is consumable isn't a good name. What would we call items that fall into the category of any of these? Pause status, cure status, revive, or any of the potions? Is that vigorous?
Well, those can only target the players themselves.
Yeah,
Well, technically, if you also fix the targeting system, you can healing potion a monster and that will work.
Mm-hmm. So what should we call these? Naming is the hardest part.
Maybe just status items. Technically, HP is a status.
Yeah. I kind of think consumable is a decent name, but also, like, you could probably consider, like, single-use item magic as consumable as well. I don't know, that's a tricky one. Mario E asked, are there any plans to make the cut content available in the PS1 version? It would be very, very difficult for us to do that. I mean, with the knowledge that we have gained here, it would be possible for someone to do that with some things. But that is not the goal of our project. So it's not something that we ourselves will be doing. However, if someone else really wanted to, they probably could. So status item, consumable item. I don't know if I like either of those, but I also don't really have any other ideas, unfortunately. I don't know, Zychronics, what do you think about consumable? Do you think that's too ambiguous? Do you think it'd be confusing?
Too ambiguous. Because of all the attack items, those are technically consumables.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Call it like is potion or status item? Like is potion or status? Hero drink.
Well, there's healing items, which are the HP and PSB items, and then there's the status healing items.
They're not necessarily positive.
Purifiers.
They're not necessarily positive either. They could be status causing items. Like it can be the cause status items as well.
Right. So how many types of items can we categorize? I mean, how many categories can we put all the items that exist in the game? There's the single target magic
Mm-hmm.
items, the AoE ones, the non-multi ones, and then you got your healing items, and then the status healing items, and then the status effect causing items.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your repeat items, but mostly each repeat item is unique in some way. Rest in peace, Magic Shield. I mean, not Magic Shield, Perfect Shield. In the game, but the script doesn't work.
Maybe we'll fix that. Okay, so what do we have here? We start at 0. That would be health potion, MP potion. Interestingly, SP potion is not handled here. Oh right, this is the fix for not applying elemental bonuses to healing. So, how do they, if that's the case? What is 7? That's bits 6 and 7. I think this is the heal all potions. Must be, I think. X80 shifted right by 7 would be 0, right? Why is my calculator so large? Why is there no... Oh my god, the resizing handles. What are you doing? Yeah, that would be 1. Heal all... They kind of have that... Yeah, anyway. All MP and all SP. Sorry. HP. I got them kind of backwards here. So the SP potion is bit 5, but that's actually not even done here. I wonder where that happens. Okay, let's...
Spirit Potions item is all over the place.
Yeah, let's stash these changes temporarily and fire this up so we can do a little bit of debugging.
I'm pretty sure everything that the Spirit Potion does is handled by the script itself. I believe everything is hard-coded with that one. Oh, my guess was correct. Thank you, Icarus.
Is it done in scripts, Icarus? So we'll drop a breakpoint in here. And we'll see if this actually gets called.
I was trying to make like a spirit rain, but I couldn't because everything in that script is just hard-coded.
Okay.
The targeting is hard-coded and everything.
So yeah, Spirit Potion is not even touching this code, so that is correct. So what is this handling then? That should be handling. Let me see here. Icarus is the revive coded in scripts as well? I assume that it is. So I guess it might be cause and I guess probably cause status that would go through here. Let's dash those changes again. Now, do I don't have any of those, unfortunately. Let's see if this goes through there. Negative. Okay, let's leave this battle, and we'll use the debugger to give us, I don't know, poison needle, I guess.
Might not have gone there because there was no status to cure.
Called poison needle, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Jump back into battle. Yeah, an item that increases encounter rate would be nice for grinding. Okay, poison needle. We've got the spin. Interesting. Also, that did not run through that code. Okay, that's unfortunate. I've got the fast math enabled, and it's still spinning, so we're going to look into that, Zachronics.
Yeah, that started popping up for me recently. I don't
Interesting.
remember what exactly.
I did update JOML. I'll have to look through their changes and see what changed there.
Oh, just undo.
Well, I updated it because they finally merged in a fix that I had logged with them that we needed, and I was doing a bunch of super hacky, long-winded code to get around it, so it'd be kind of unfortunate if we had to revert. We'll have to see what they changed, and maybe that'll help us narrow down what exactly is going on there. Matthew, that's actually what we intend the healing tsunami to be. Fully restore all HP, MP, and SP for every character. Okay, so that is a bit unfortunate. It looks like the script does still handle most of the healing and stuff like that. This will... yeah, this basically just tells the script how much HP and MP the player has.
So then, which way is better? What if we have like, I don't know, JavaScript-based items instead?
Well, we would have them as Java classes, but we need the whole thing is we need to add some kind of like very basic generic script that that actually like calls into this code and runs the correct methods. So how about we look at the item script for now, or the healing potion script for now. Icarus, do you know what file the healing potion script is? I'm having a very difficult time braining today.
I also have the IDs.
I suppose we could look at load item def, spell, or item def. Icarus is just on the ball.
Uh, 4401 is the monster healing potion, not the normal one.
We should be able to calculate it here.
Oh no, even if you calculate it, it'll give you the wrong one. It's 4385.
4385. Technical documents. I do just want to look at this. What you're saying doesn't make any sense.
Oh, trust me, it didn't make sense to me either, but that's how I got the new items working in Dramod. I had to point to correct death script. And I was assuming healing potion was 4329, but then that script kept crashing. And then when I printed out the death event that I made, it was saying healing potion was 4385, so it's like, oh, well, that makes sense.
So it should be 4400 or 4410. No, 40. My brain is just not working. 4320. No, 4330. Am I just an idiot right now? 11 times 2 is 22 plus 4308. I hit. Oh my god.
43.
I'm still getting used to this new keyboard. 4330 is what it should be.
Yeah, no, that's the monster version. Monsters have their own healing potion. And it's
Okay, well,
to 30%.
Let's drop a breakpoint in there and see what gets triggered.
I'll say 4385 or 4386.
Right, that save had those items we added, so it's gonna crash. Gonna make sure that we actually have healing potions here. And we'll start an encounter. Okay. Yep, 4386. Interesting. That means the ID that it's using is E7, which is logged as healing fog. Did I use the wrong item there?
No, healing fog and healing potions share the same script. If you go use healing fog, it'll give you 43852. the effect itself is changing based on the percentage of the healing, if I remember correctly.
Very interesting. I wonder where that remapping happens. Okay, let's look into this for a second. What script is actually making this happen? So that's the actual character script. So that should be the player combat script. Let's take a look at the player combat script. Oh look, I already have it decompiled. And we're looking at script load def. How many instances of this do we have? Quite a few. Hmm. Yeah, Berserk Mouse really takes a beating. So we've got E7 here. This is flags and index. I wonder... Yeah, I think that is the item ID in this case. Yes, it is. So that is a thing. We've got the... Yeah, we've got the healing fog item ID hard-coded in here. I'm thinking this is just a regular item because it's adding C0 to it. That's got to be a regular item. Um, okay, so spell or item is type 2. That's another thing hard-coded. That is detonate rock. Um, what are they doing in these scripts?
Many things that they shouldn't be.
Detonate rock is hard-coded. That is also just using a regular item by the looks of it. Um, D4 Panic Bell is hard-coded. Stunning Hammer is hard-coded. Poison Needle and Midnight Terror. Icarus, I'm just trying to make sense of this shit.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that they hard coded all this stuff. Wouldn't it just been easier to let the normal loading method for the items work?
You would think. Yeah, so this is how it decides which entry point into the healing fog to use. So one of these must be healing potion and one of them must be healing fog.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Sounds good, Icarus. We'll be here. So it's this jump table here, jump 2108. This monster of a jump table. Okay, it is used in a few spots. Because, of course, it couldn't just be one place. That would be too easy. They are very similar. Why are we doing randomness here? So, in the hell? So, half the time it's setting store 28 to -1. That's not used in this method. What's 503? 50, right, 503 is the jump table. And it's S28 that is sometimes getting reset to -1. That is an unknown parameter that we have not yet figured out.
By using the depetrifier with the breakpoint, I think it might be -1.
Okay, so that value is actually not used. This might just be some leftover code that they ended up cutting. Because, yeah, they're passing it in as that P2 unknown value, but it's not actually being used.
Maybe it's for the beta items that are still in the game.
Could be. That is definitely a possibility. Interestingly, in this call, it's not even being set. Mm, okay, what is this? Those are all out parameters. That's target here. S28. And if P0, which is an unknown, is 0, it repeats. Uh, that is an unknown value. That might... One might mean that a item was selected or something was selected, because this is for item or spell menu. Yeah, it gets set to 0 at the start, and if the player selects something, it gets set to 1. However, it also has this -1 value. I think that means it's unloading. I think we can add a little bit of documentation here. Zero, nothing selected. One item or spell selected. Two, menu, unloading. So I guess we can call this like selection state. Add some documentation here. Selection state, description, 0, nothing selected. One item spell selected. -1, menu unloading. Glitter in the graveyard. There is a fair bit of leftover code that we've found. Some of it we know what it does, other stuff we don't. Like for example, we found the remnants of like load game menus in game and stuff that they cut for whatever reason. We found some unused like screen transition effects. Um, there is also an entire overlay full of testing code that we haven't really looked into, but there are several script methods as well as some effects that exist in there. We should go into that at some point and you know, see if there's anything interesting because there definitely could be. Uh the Chronics. This might be
I don't know who that's for. There's your answer.
Oh, those are for spells, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Disregard.
Some random NPC is changing spell IDs.
Music
I
did
wonder
die.
who.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a joke. Pony Bro's right. The game barely runs. But to be fair, the entire PS1 BIOS and kernel is the exact same. It is, in a lot of cases, some of the worst code I've ever seen. If it's a target all item, -1 the target. Icarus, right now we're just learning. We gotta figure out what all this code does before we can actually use it, modify it. So this, I guess we can call this, like, are you okay, Ghidra? Hello? Can you, can, can you, I, okay, there we go. I am strongly regretting making my other monitor my default because I keep having to drag windows over. Script, get item or spell targeting info. I mean, PS1 was early 90s. It was basically the Wild West. You know, they were doing this all for the first time. It was one of the first disc-based consoles. Parts of it are like ridiculously over-engineered and super complicated for no reason. Like the PS1 newer controllers, the Rumble protocol for them has like 12 different commands instead of just like start rumble and stop rumble, which is all they needed. Why they did that, I have no idea. But the controller code and memcard code for the PS1 is just a absolute disaster. Like, I would estimate probably at least like 5%, maybe 4% of the kernel and BIOS, as well as the LOD code, was just code for dealing with controllers and memcards. Because it's just this ridiculous serial protocol and so complicated. I was never actually able to get the controller support working properly in Severed Chains, and that was almost the end of the project. Like, I worked on that code for literally months and made like no progress whatsoever. Never got it even remotely close to working. And I eventually ended up just deleting it all and using some memory hacking tools to figure out what variables in memory the controller code was ultimately modifying, and then just writing like 50 lines of code that did the same thing. And that's what we've used since then, basically. Oh, speaking of controller code, newest feature, we just added Rumble. So if you have any controller that is compatible, which is most of them, it doesn't work with the DualShock 4 and 5 controllers because they use, again, a super complicated Rumble setup for whatever reason. But it will work with most controllers now. Alright, so this is another one figured out. Yeah, Xbox controllers definitely work. People have tried it with other controllers as well. And it's all working very well, even the FMV Rumble, which I did not know was a thing. We actually found some files that we weren't aware of the usage for is actually Rumble data for the FMVs encoded into a file. Alright, so we know the usage of this now. And P0 is state. So if the state is 0, we just loop until we have got a target selected. Okay, so this has to be the main targeting selection here. Because this initializes the spell and item menu. Then this will wait until a target is selected. If it's -1, okay, so this means if they backed out of targeting, then we jump to 500. Which zeroes out whatever this combat variable is. If we did select the target, then we wait 10 frames and call this function, which does something to the heads-up display. Okay, so if it's... This will be true if that's not 0. In this case, it is 0, so we will get into this code. This code is... Yeah, this is all more unknown stuff, unfortunately. Let's recompute these as nans, which is a hell of a lot easier to understand. Those are unknowns, unfortunately. Let's see if we can figure out the usage of those flags. Okay, so we've got those being used here. So if either of those flags are set, then it looks like we... Custom equipment passive effects. Do you mean something like the therapy ring, for example? Okay, so those two flags have to be set in order for us to render the characters. Whoops. To be honest with you, I forgot that was still running. Those two flags have to be set for us to render the character's stats. This also ticks up something. What is 2 used for? This might be what makes the character portrait get brighter. Okay, so far that was not particularly useful. What else do we have here? So if 1 is set... then we render the battle UI background. Okay, that's pretty easy. Render battle UI background, and I guess that makes to render player stats. Pretty sure that makes sense. What else are we looking at here? Yeah, so 2 is render player stats, portrait, name, etc. Okay. That's portrait, name, etc. Upstin, how's it going? Do we have any other flags here? I think that covers all of them. Yeah, that is all of them. So that is a couple more things figured out. Always nice. Okay, so this method just enables or disables the rendering of... Yeah, okay. So this is set battle UI visibility. We should call it HUD though, because that's what we called it everywhere else, and we need to make sure that we are consistent for our own sanity. And that also lets us name this script method. What do I call it? Set battle HUD visibility. And this is the visible parameter. It is Boolean. True to show HUD, false to hide. Shows or hides the battle HUD. Alright, we are making progress. There's handling for post-combat state 3, but it's the same as combat victory. That's weird. Anyway, that is neither here nor there. So this hides the HUD. And then we jump to 501. What is storage 29 in this case? That is going to be item or spell ID. So if the item or spell ID is greater than hex 40, now what can that be doing? Do you have any ideas? There's Chronix. I guess that must be checking if it's a spell. Because the thing is, with the way that the item IDs work, only the upper hex 40 are actually used by items. Everything else is equipment. So if the ID was greater than hex 40, that would put it past the end of the item list, so they could use that to detect if it's a spell or not.
That I don't know is right or not.
Do you have any other ideas? Because I can't think of any other anything else that it could be. We clear out a couple of game bars.
Well, it's subtracting 192 first and then saying XYZ is the new item ID, right?
No. In these cases, they have to actually add the 192. I believe. But either way, well, I don't know. Because here we're setting the item ID specifically.
There's another table. Hold on. I'm trying to find it. It's greater than hex 40, which would be... That, I'm pretty sure, is actually the Dragoon spell table. The first 40 is the Dragoon spell IDs.
Okay.
But that's also partially shared with the enemy Dragoons for some reason. And then the rest. Yeah, I actually don't know. No, that's not right.
So here's the thing though, Zycronix. It's specifically setting the ID, the item ID in that case. So we're saying if it's greater than hex 40.
It probably should be, because it's...
I would have thought that this would be non-item. Is this not an item check? But apparently they're using it as an item check.
I mean, in the sense of the players, I guess it does make sense.
Okay, so in that case, we copy the item ID to storage 8, and then jump to 503. Based on the item... Whoa. This jump table is indexed by the item ID.
That looks like fun.
Yeah. There's 59 entries. Which means if you did run...
Oh, you know what there's 59 of?
Items?
Player Dragoon spell IDs. There's exactly 59 of them.
Well, no, look at this. There's 59 items. The last 5 of the 64 are nothing.
Really interesting.
No, this is an item table.
Huh.
Yeah, no, this
the
is
same amount.
This is using items. So this table is actually indexed by the item ID. And depending on what item it is, a lot of them just use this one function here. So that explains why we were finding multiple instances of the def loader and stuff. Because some of them use a specialized version and others don't. Okay, so that is very important information. This table is indexed by item ID and is how the game knows what to do with different items. So we need to delete this and move this all into the Severed Chains code.
That sounds like Harvey Ford.
Because Icarus, we don't want all of this code in the scripts. We want this all to be handled by these item classes. That's kind of the whole point of this refactor and putting everything into the item registry. We don't want to use numeric IDs for things anymore, because it makes modding very difficult.
Can we even recompile the script? Because I tried recently and I couldn't. But maybe it's just my bad code.
Should be able to. It decompiled fine. Actually, the guy that was working on expanding the number of player characters has made changes to the player combat script, so it obviously does recompile. One second.
When I recompiled it and re-decompiled it, it was just data. Was my problem. But it still worked.
Something must have gone wrong there. I don't know. If it compiled properly, it should decompile properly. Icarus asked if you decompiled the text file.
No, I decompiled the script.
Gotta check. Okay, so we are here. We're reading the element into S8, removing the 1 into S9 and 0 into S10. If element and 1, which element is that? water element. That's what I thought. So, if it's water element, we... Oh, okay, this is a loop. So it's checking which element is used. Okay. This S10 will be the element index. So interesting, we've got this we've got this table here. This is indexed by element index. Okay. Loop over element flags and find the element index stored in S10. Well, Ninshi, to make things even better, this is a language that I came up with because the Legend of Dragoon scripts are just in a binary format. So they get decompiled into these sort of like assembly-like script files, so that we can actually like read them and edit them and make changes. So this is not a like regular programming language. This is one that I came up with like specifically for the Legend of Dragoon scripts. Cause otherwise, they look like this. And well, we did actually do a couple of very simple script patches to these in the past, but it would literally take like days, weeks of work to do like one minor change. That's what kept us from doing a lot of stuff for a very long time. Yes, Icarus came in and has learned this language better than anyone else. Pony Bro, we usually just call it LODASM. Because it's an assembly-like language for LOD. It's not exactly a mod. It is like a full PC port, although we have done quite a few mods to the base game. Okay, so what does this do? This is storing a value in S8 based on the element index. I wonder if this is probably calculating the opposite element. Let's see here. Does that make any sense at all? So we start with bit 1, which would be water. In that case, we would be looking at the value 1. 2 would be Earth Element. And for that, the value is 4. Do you have any idea what this could be being used for, Zychronics?
Okay, so it goes water, earth, thunder, non-elemental.
Water, earth, dark.
Wait, is that the 6?
Yeah, dark would be the 6. The next one would be divine.
Fire? Or
then thunder. Then light, then wind, then fire.
is this some weird,
Maybe
complicated math equation?
I was gonna say maybe it's the character index because the last one was 0, but no. That doesn't make sense for anything else. So I guess this one would make sense because this would be fire, would be pointing to water, but water is pointing to whatever the number 1 is. Sunny, yes, we've already added that into the dev builds. You can press triangle in battle to be able to select your edition. Okay, let's jump back to where this is being called and see how they use S8. This is just animation and sound. They're also overriding S8 there. Is it used here? Nope. What about here? Yes. What? Subtract 9 from it?
Like, this must be some weird way to get the opposite element or something. That's the only reasonable thing I can think of, but then again, the code's not reasonable.
Yes, these very, very nice triple dereferenced storage parameters. Some way it's being used to load a script or something. We don't have a way to untransform from Dragoon yet, but that is something that will likely be added in the future. Returns some value related to item element in S8. Alright, we're gonna leave it at that for now, because...
You can technically detransform with Dramod in the recommended build 2.1.
Oh, well there you go.
You have to take your turn first though, and then they'll do it.
Now we got 3 calls to another unknown method. Let's see if we can known it. Right. Actually, this is what I figured out yesterday. There is 2 types of deaths. Ones that automatically tick themselves and do their own loading, and other ones that need to have this special method called that does the loading for you. This is script tick def loader. Matthew, there's so much logic in random scripts. Well, calling it logic would be a stretch. So for 0 and 1, we check the loading stage. If the loading stage is 1, we pause and rewind. I guess that must be still loading, and if it's 2, we continue. For stage 2... Okay. Yeah, we'll just call this tick def loading stage, I guess. Loading stage. The loading stage. I never know what to write for these half the time. The loading stage to run. Sure, the loading stage to run. Ticks the def loader for defs that are not set up to tick themselves. May pause and rewind if the def is not yet ready for that stage. And ranges from 0 to 4 inclusive. 0 to 4? Yes, 0 to 4. Yep, full HD, 60 frames per second. We won't have 60 frames per second in battle for this release, but we will in a future one. Yeah, as Icarus said, very, very fortunately, the equipment don't use scripts. However, that being said, the special equipment effects, like Ultimate War God, are handled in some script. I'm assuming it's the player combat script. Icarus can probably correct me there if I'm wrong. Okay, tick def loading. So we wait, and then we set something in var 21, or var 44 rather. What is Name var param 44. Another unknown. Of course it is. It gets set to post battle action here, which is only a number from 1 to 4. Yet elsewhere it's set to other things completely different. Of course, even more unknown values. This comes from the stage data. Stage data comes from... it's just hard-coded. Yeah, so that's just a whole lot of completely unknown. Interesting that it's set in the camera code. That may or may not be significant. Very hard to say with so little data. But here it's getting set to X21. There is a tiny bug that will not leave me alone. Alright, let's see here. What is this doing? Bar 23, or 32. "32 is all battle entities. Okay, so this is battle entity index. That's getting the battle entity index in S28. Then from there we're getting the battle entity slot in S9. We're adding 81 to it. That is for yeah, that would be for reading from the special effect vars, which are mostly unknown. Does that make sense? It's hex 81, so it would be starting...
I believe some of this is like magic shield, material shield, 6 stone.
Yeah. So it'll be starting on this one. Yeah, this handles all this stuff here. Yeah, it's how many turns these different effects are being applied for. And it checks bar 57. Which is post-battle action index. So if battle has finished, Then we jump to the return. So we don't do anything here if battle's finished. Wait, is that what that means? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Kind of weird that this code would run in that case, but I don't know. So we're getting the status. We are ending it with FF, which is just getting the basic status is like poison. If we have no status, we return. If we have status Hex 1, which is, I want to say Petrify or something like that. Battle entity status. Yes, petrified. So if we're petrified, then we jump here, which then jumps here. Do something with game bar 45. Loads a script. Re-enters here. And then forks itself again. Re-enters into entry point 11? I don't know. Then 40 is Dispirited, which does a triple D reference. Gray Madison, yes. It extracts everything. For example, monster scripts are in Dragon 1. Most of these files are monster scripts. Everything except for the first file and I think the last file. No, the last file is some other script. I think it's the combat controller script. But anyway, yes. Submap scripts are all in the Dragon 2X bins. There is a submap controller script as well as a script for each NPC on the map, including Dart. Each like object on the map. That'll include Dart NPCs, lights, even random invisible things, rock fireflies, etc., etc. Submaps are in groups of 3 folders. One folder is for textures and models and animation and stuff. One is for the submap backgrounds, and the other one is for the scripts. You can look at the loaders to see the exact file patterns. And then Dragon 21 has all of the defs, which are their own archive type. Those have also been extracted. That's what we were looking at earlier when we were calculating the healing potion script ID. So defs are special archives that have a script and then all the assets for that effect. And those are all in various banks of the Dragon 21. We have a file mapping document for Dragon 21 in the technical documents folder here. This lists basically every single file in Dragon 21 and what it is. So you'll see like these are all defs. Yeah. Like here's ones for like various monster attacks, etc., etc. Here's some items. Yeah. You'll definitely want the mapping document if you're looking at Dragon 21 or Dragon 0 rather. Okay, anyway, this is all effect stuff. I'm not too concerned about that at this moment. Alright, well, the most important thing that we learned here is this item usage table. So using this, rather than calling this table, we should be able to add a new method to the script engine. And then we can just recreate the code that is used in this script for the various different table entries. It doesn't look like there's a whole... Well, okay, there's a fair bit. Looks like there's... Okay, no, there's not 47. That must just be the ID. Yeah, a lot of them use the same one. So I'd say there's probably 25, 30 of them, and they're probably... Actually, I'd say like 20 max. Since more of them are duplicated. That shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, so Icarus, we will need to sort of like break this out into a few different steps for sure. What you're saying about the weight is definitely relevant. Yeah, we will obviously have to figure that out. But it's certainly not something that we can't figure out. Yeah, we may need to have a few different calls or something like that. Or, you know, another possibility is just to modify each of these methods to call a specific engine code. That's another thing we could do. Well, another thing we could do that might be even easier actually would be instead of unconditionally calling this with the item ID, we could check and see if it is a LOD item. If it is, then we call that table, and if it's not, then we call some special method of our own to, you know, do whatever we need to do. Like, this is all still very, you know, exploratory, of course. How we will actually tackle this, you know, I don't know for sure. But all of this knowledge that we're gaining here, figuring out what these different methods and stuff do, you know, is very, very important for informing what we do next. I don't think it'll be, you know, a walk in the park to get all this stuff working, but yeah. I don't think it'll be insurmountable by any means. I mean, look at the stuff that we've done so far, right? You know, all we're doing here is, you know, making it possible to use items. I'm pretty sure we can figure that out. Right. thinking that this is where we're gonna end it for tonight. We're a little shy of the usual 2 hours, but my throat's getting pretty dry and I'm pretty tired. I didn't sleep great last night, so I think I'll probably take it a little easy tonight. Maybe play a few games before bed. That being said, you know, we did make some pretty good progress here overall, I think. We figured out what a lot of these methods and variables and things are actually doing, which is going to make actually making all the stuff work a lot easier. So maybe next time, next Wednesday, we'll pick up where we left off here and you know, see if we can actually get some more items going. Big thanks to everybody who tuned in tonight and tunes in every night. If you like what we're doing here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. It helps us out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And if you really like what we're doing here with Severed Chains, there is a donation link in the chat. You can send a one-off donation or you can subscribe monthly. Huge thank you to all of my current subscribers and everybody who has sent donations recently. It really helps out a lot. It means that I can spend more time actually working on Severed Chains. You know, it just makes things a lot easier for me. Yeah, thank you everybody, and I hope you have a good night. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye now.